Hey, Kevin here, top 100 financial advisor, two-time author, one-time bestseller, and I want to explain a few things today. You can see in the left-hand corner here that the market is down significantly again. There are a few things. So first, I'm going to give you a few things that are going on, why it's happening, kind of what to expect. And one thing you absolutely do not want to do, and I'm going to show you how detrimental that's going to be on the whiteboard in just a few minutes. So first, we have really about four factors that are in place. The coronavirus is the constant theme. The president has banned flights from Europe for, I think, 30 days. So that is a big concern because it's not only are we banning flights, which is fearful, right? Everyone's like, oh, this is really bad. But those stocks, travel stocks, airline stocks, cruise lines are getting slammed even harder than what they were before. They're already falling just because of the virus by itself. Now that you've cut that off, if people can't travel back and forth, one, that may or may not help the virus. I'll leave that to the health experts. But economy wise, if I can't be at my meeting in France and they can't come back and forth here, what do we do about business? All those things, that's going to severely hurt the stock market, as we can see. The second thing, the NBA canceled or suspended their entire season. That is also for the regular consumer. Now you're really afraid because this is the thing that you kind of get away from the virus by watching TV, by, I guess, going to the games and kind of getting your mind off of things. That's not a thing anymore. Now, stocks like Nike, stocks like Under Armour were already down because they don't have the sales from China and don't have the production from China. Now they don't have the revenue from the NBA, those sponsorships, so on and so forth. So those stocks are down significantly. So that's two things in and of itself, and things are starting to spiral. Some companies have begun hiring freezes and laying people off to a small degree right now. That is a bigger signal for an impending recession down the line. It's a little too early to tell because, again, we don't know how long this thing is going to last, but those are the fears that are driving the stock market even further down. Things may get worse. We don't know. Based on what we know from the past, this is not 2008, not yet anyway. We still know if you stayed invested, if you continue to invest during that time, you would have been okay. So I do want to tell you one thing that you absolutely don't want to do in a moment like this. People are afraid, okay? It is okay to be afraid. I understand that. People are losing money. You check your 401k, it's red, and it's not at the number it was in January. It's not the number it was last year. I understand that. Okay? Do not be, don't make a crazy decision and pull your money out because of fear. And here's why. And what I mean by pull it out, there's some people say, I'm going to sell and move to cash. You got some people say, I just want to take everything out of my 401k and go spend it on something else. I want to take everything out of my 401k and go pay off debt. I want to pull out my 401k and do whatever because I'm afraid of losing money. When you pull out, you absolutely do guarantee a loss. So I want to show you what that means. You pull out of your 401k. Let's say you pull out, so you withdraw. Uh-oh. Told y'all can't spell. Let's say you pull out $5,000 right now out of your 401k because you're tired of seeing it drop. You say, I'm done with this. I want to take my money and put it in a bank account where I know I'm not going to lose another dime. When you pull out, you guarantee that loss. Not just the selling part, but you guarantee it because of taxes and penalty. So you could lose 1,700 if you're in the 24% tax bracket. There's already a plus. There's a 10% penalty just before withdrawing before 59 and a half. Now that's not 24%, it's a 24% tax bracket. So that gets a bit more complicated. We're not going to get into the tax part of it. So if you did that, you put out $5,000 today, and because you want to put it in a bank account, because you want to go do something else with it, because you're afraid, I'm going to sell everything, withdraw it, and go put it into something that you feel is safer. You do that today, you're going to lose $1,700 automatically. That's going to leave you with 3,300. That's it. That's it. That's all you get. And it doesn't matter what you think you're going to put your money into. The taxes, because if you haven't paid income taxes in it in a 401k, plus that penalty, and it's very difficult to get around that if you're just trying to withdraw the money and have the cash. So you pulling out is not doing what you think it's doing. Imagine in a situation, I'm gonna go back to the camera here. Imagine you're in a situation like this and you've lost money because the market is down. So let's say you were at 7,000. Now you're at 5, and you say, "Oh, let me save myself and pull everything out and go put it in a bank account. Let me pull everything out and put it in a CD." Yeah, you do that, and now you're at 3. So you went from 5 to 7 to 3,000 just by pulling out, as opposed to just waiting it out. And I'm telling you now, if you wait it out, you're going to be okay in time. Now, it may be 18 months, it could be 2 years, but if you pull out right now, you're not gonna get that out. You're not gonna get it back regardless. So that's that. You can keep your little 3,000 and put it in a bank account and make 1%, or you can wait 18 months, maybe 2 years, and have it come back to the 5,000 or whatever it is before. We have data and history that shows us that over time you're going to be okay. I understand it's not easy, it's not fun. Log off if you have to. Okay, if you know that you're not retiring in the next 5 years, so if you're in your 30s, you ain't gonna retire for another 20 years. It don't matter what's going on right now today in 2020. You're gonna be all right. If you're in your 40s, it doesn't matter too much what's gonna happen right now in 2020. You're gonna be okay. If you're in your 50s, you need to make sure your investments are balanced properly. That doesn't mean it's time to withdraw, but you need to make sure you have the right investments right now. You're in your 60s, you definitely need to make sure that your investments are in the right place. You don't want to be too aggressive, and that's the problem. So you're in your 50s and 60s, you need to have a different conversation. If you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, so what? The money, you got time. 10 years from now, you're not going to remember, oh, the coronavirus, blah, blah, blah. People who stayed invested in 2008 were fine. People who stayed invested in the dot-com crash are fine. Those people saw their money double shortly after those crashes, within 18 months to 2 years or 24 months after. And you can just sit there and do nothing. It is okay. It is okay to do nothing. If you want to stop contributing, it's not the best thing in the world, but if you want to stop contributing and do nothing, you're putting in 15%, you don't want to put in anything, that is better than withdrawing everything. I would prefer, and what I'm doing, and what I would, if I were your advisor, say continue just putting in your 15%, doing what you are, you're going to be fine. But even if you stop, say, hey, I'm going to pause everything. I'm not going to put in any new money. I'm going to sit and let this grow. And when things improve, I'm going to put more money in there when the time comes. That's still better than withdrawing. So I wanted to bring that up. We have a new market update. Things are just fine. I don't think things are just fine based on what I'm seeing on the screen. So those are things you want to be aware of. You pull out, if you're scared of losing money, the last thing you want to do is withdraw everything. Okay, taxes and penalties, you're looking at least bare minimum 10% that you're not going to get around. That's a loss, period. So that's what you want to be aware of. I understand. Do remain calm. I do have resources for you. Go to buildingbread.com/free. I send out an email almost every week, almost every other day, based on what's going on right now, to kind of give you some tips and tricks on what you should be looking forward to and what to be aware of. You can also go to buildingbread.com/webinar. I'll put all these links above or below or wherever you're watching this, to give you a sense of what to do and what things have happened in the past. The past gives us a guide of how things react and how to protect yourself. Another thing, if you are looking to invest, depending on what you do, there are some ways to make money in markets like this. I talked about defensive stocks. Those tend to do well in times like this. So that is an option for you. So again, those are the things you want to consider. Hit the link, hit share, and remain calm. Investors will be fine. Long-term investors will be fine. So take a look at those, and I'll talk to you guys later. See ya.